Right, welcome, ladies and gents. Apparently, Arnold Schwarzenegger has discussed a real return to the Predator franchise. This is not a huge surprise. He's actually dipped his toe in and out of the Predator franchise a few times since the original Predator movie, and actually a fair amount recently, in fact. So it's not a massive surprise. But it's interesting and it's worth exploring and taking a look at. Because, of course, if this does happen, then we've got a document of how it started, where it came from, and we can all kind of have a good conversation about whether we want this or not. So I'll get into the sort of conversation that's taken place. But let's have a conversation, I guess, first about whether it would be a good thing just on face value. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger the Predator franchise? Quintessentially, an argument could be made that yes, he is. Is he the Predator franchise in his current visage? Probably not. God love him. He's an old bloke now, though. I don't think he's quite got it in him to run around going toe to toe with the Predator anymore. Arnold Schwarzenegger has gotten old. Unfortunately, a true legend that he is. He has gotten old, and there's a certain part of you that wants to see these characters come back, but it can be one of those cases where it's probably best not materializing, because there's a certain part of it which just goes, ooh, yeah, like I now realize his mortality, I guess. Because when you think about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator, you think back to this, right? This is what you think of. Him literally going toe-to-toe with a Predator, a Yautja. And on face value, I don't think I would personally want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger going up against the Predator in live action again. But that's where we can sort of dip off now and talk about, well, would it work with him going up against a Predator being, a voice actor? Yeah, I actually think so. And that's where he dipped himself back into the Predator franchise recently, which was, of course, in the end of Predator Killer of Killers, the alternate cut, where we see the cryostasis tubes, and who is there? Was Dutch. It's his character from the original movie. And I think that could be a really good way to explore the character a little bit more. Explore what happened after Predator a little bit more. There's so much you could do with that. What adventures did he get up to? Where did he go? What happened? We learn a little bit supposedly in Predator 2. Apparently he died of radiation poisoning. Well, no. Probably taken somewhere. Probably scurried away to some offshore government facility. I don't know. Who knows? But there's so much you could explore. And I think actually animation could do it really real justice, because it's cheap. And I don't mean like it's just generally cheap. Like, it's just cheap by comparison to a feature-length live-action movie. I think you could see Dutch going off, tearing through Yautja Prime. I don't know, maybe even landing on the game preserve planet. Who knows? There's so many things you could do. And that, I think, is where I personally wouldn't mind seeing Dutch come back. You could finish his story. There's definitely more. There's definitely more to be said with that character. And I think you could do it real justice there. But personally, I don't really want to see old man Dutch running around. Because, again, Arnold Schwarzenegger's a legend. This isn't to disparage him in any way. But he's gotten old now. There's some footage of him trying to walk around. And he's not as spry as he once was. It would be near embarrassing to see him suited up trying his best to take down a Predator. It just wouldn't work, I don't think. And again, it's not to disparage him at all. The guy's an absolute legend. So that's my thoughts. What do you guys think? Would you want to see him? In what way? What capacity? Let me know down below. But let's take a look at this and we'll see what's been said. So this is on comicbook.com. And as it says here, the Predator franchise is experiencing a massive resurgence in popular culture, which it is. The release of Prey was a colossal success, earning critical acclaim and breathing new life into the series, which in turn allowed director Dan Trachtenberg to pursue a wider range of projects within the universe. Earlier this year, the franchise expanded further with the release of Predator Killer of Killers, another certified hit with the fans, which is true. Now the series is set to make a major return to theatres with the upcoming film Predator Badlands this November. The recent success was made all the more special by a shocking cameo in Killer of Killers, alternate ending. So which featured the frozen bodies of original hero Dutch, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Prey protagonist Naru, which is played by Amber Midthunder, bringing the franchise's legacy full circle. So the Killer of Killers cameo might be the seed for something much bigger. In the latest edition of Empire magazine, Trachtenberg revealed that a conversation with the legendary action star has opened the door for a more substantial return to the franchise. I hope you heed some of these words, Trachtenberg. I met Arnold, Trachtenberg said. And he said, "You'd think I'd get 'I'll be back' yelled at me most, but it's actually 'get to the chopper.'" So he's well aware of the franchise's staying power. He was excited to talk about what else we could do, because there's so much more story to tell now. You could tell how Dutch and Naru were captured, or what happens when they're de-iced. Many possibilities. Now that puts it only in the bounds of an animated return, because of course he's young in Predator Killer of Killers. Now I know he has come back for Predator, what was it called, the game, I can't even remember what it was called, Hunting Grounds. I never played it, but he came back for that, and they did like an old version of Dutch. He actually had Predator DNA spliced into him as well. Bit of a peculiar expansion to the lore. Not a terrible one, but a bit peculiar. So they'd have to kind of reject all of that. That won't be lore anymore. It won't be canon. So it is interesting. I hope that this is them just saying, yeah, like we want to do some more, more with him, but in an animated capacity, because I think that works. I don't think it works him being live action, because he just, I think it would ruin it potentially. It would ruin your opinion of the character a little bit. And again, he's still a legend. It's not to disparage him, but there you go. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Genuinely keen to hear your thoughts. Take care. Bye bye now.